Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host, Chantele Francis, on another day in time with my co-host, Tanya. How are you doing on a Wednesday, Tanya?
It feels a little bit weird on a Wednesday, doesn't it? I've lost track of where I am. I just went back full-time, 5 days of work this week.
Oh my gosh.
So it's just been such a weird adjustment for me that everything feels kind of scrambled. So this is par for the course. This is changing it up for the week.
Definitely changing it up. It's, with Big Brother, have you been watching? It's been so chaotic, and I've been watching
I haven't even started it.
Oh, it's the best season that it's been ever. And the live feeds have been insane. It's just been a real treat. So I've been heavily involved in that. So my timing has been super off, and I was at my mom's house, and it's just been quite discombobulating. But I'm happy here to talk about this episode. Yes. I'm happy that they made a max exodus. Get rid of people. Let's get two more episodes. Hometowns. Yes, let's go.
Let's believe it.
Go. Very excited about it moving forward, because I was just worried about it just dragging on. I was like, what? There's 15 guys left last week. I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna narrow it down. Hi, Tamika. Tamika is in the house. Tamika has been joining me on the Love Island USA recaps, and so that's been really fun and
amazing.
Doing really well. So thank you, Tamika, for joining us here now to talk about this episode of some love, some Bachelorette. So we start off with the episode with Tayshia and Kaitlyn joining Katie to talk about, what do you think about the whoa?
I hate this. I just don't understand what the purpose of this entire bit was. I don't understand how it ties into the sex positive angle in any way. I don't understand what they were doing this for.
I think it's to
there's
have
no purpose to it at all, right?
It must be to have whoa trending. So whoa, WOWO, is week off of whacking off. So I think that that's what they wanted to get trending and be like, oh my God, a Bachelorette. They're the whoa. Oh my God, these guys, can they do it? Can they do it? It's so uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's just weird. It's is this a scintillating take that they think this is? Or they think people are going to be scandalized by this, watching it? Instead, I was just random. Why would you do this? And for what purpose? Because it's not it tied in any way to
the date.
Anything. It wasn't it ties into a date or something that Katie needs. It's why would Katie even care about this? Even she didn't feel invested in this idea to me. So I was just it was poor production.
Well, and also how often are they really masturbating that much that they can't hold off, or that you have to make it something specific that they're holding off from doing until I guess the fantasy suites? They bleeped it out. What did they bleep out? The whoa?
Yeah, whack off. They bleeped out. So it just sounded like a bleep, basically. And it's just is whacking off? We're not allowed to say that on prime time?
I don't know why it came to my head right now, but have you seen the preview for Fuckboy Island?
No, I have not.
F-Boy. Have you heard of it?
Well, you know who's the producer of that, right?
Yes. The Bachelor Nation or whatever. So I just was interesting that they're trying to go the salacious finding love route, and they're on network, they're on HBO Max. So with that, they're going to be able to say whack off, and they won't have to bleep if they have a vibrator. They don't have to put a black box on a vibrator. So it will be interesting to see them being a little bit freed up in their exploration of these relationships. So I'm gonna watch it. You gonna watch it?
I'm definitely gonna watch it because I think it's hosted by Nikki Glazer, so I'm interested to see how she does in kind of that hosting role. I do think she's pretty funny, or at least I enjoy some of her comedy, and I think she's interesting anyways. For those that don't know, it's, I guess, created by or produced or both, I'm not sure, by Elon Gale, who was a longtime producer on the Bachelor franchises. And I don't know if Bachelor Pad or Bachelor in Paradise was kind of like his idea, but generally a lot of the classic seasons that we think of, the GOAT seasons that we think of, he produced. So I'm intrigued, definitely. I think it's interesting that there's going to be this other competition besides the Temptation Island, or these days Too Hot to Handle, which I think maybe was part of the inspiration for Operation Whoa Whoa. Yeah. Like that's like trending. Yep. So they wanted to have some kind of element there, except there's actually a reason for it happening on Too Hot to Handle. So
even if they just brought that whole idea in, that would work a little bit better, being like, listen, like we want this just to be like, I want you to build up this, I don't know, energy towards Katie, and like not to express yourself that way, and just save it for Katie until you have like really intimate moments, instead of just like wasting that energy, whatever you want to spin it. If they'd done it more into Too Hot to Handle style, we would have been okay with it. But this way it was just like really weird and uncomfortable. Vivian says, I thought they were all innocent, pure boys waiting to read the Bible to Katie in the fantasy suite. I mean, the fact that they're all just masturbating so much, or they're so like, oh my God. Did they ask them for these reactions? It's just so weird.
Yeah, the entire thing is so odd. You could even Kaitlyn, I feel like, was just like, this is ridiculous.
And why did she have to go and tell the boys? Like, so mean.
The only other sex positive person that's been on the show, her and Nick, like that's it. No, I don't know why. I guess they had to give her a bit this week to balance out the Tayshia.
I guess so. She does say to Tayshia before the whole boy segment that, thank you so much for introducing me to Blake. I just like was rolling my eyes. Like, it wasn't really you. Like, anyways, they had to put it in there. But she's like, of course, my pleasure. Mm-hmm. Of course, I got you. Mm-hmm. So, okay. Oh, okay. So Katie says at one point she didn't realize how hot these men were on her season. And you're going to get some points here. So working out, we see Hunter. He was wearing a tank top. Eye roll. But both Andrew and Aaron were working out without a shirt on. So when they're saying how hot these guys are, you're going to get 10 points there for those two guys. But they're not going to have any friendly handshakes with themselves. Oh, it's just such a gross terminology. You're right, Tamika. The casting does look amazing for F-Boy. People all look attractive, and the three leads look like good-looking people. Like I do think it's going to be a successful series. If they think they might have hit the jackpot. There can be people there for the wrong reasons. Yes, they're allowed to be there, and there's also allowed to be people that are not. And people will probably be like, no, he's a F-Boy. He's an F-Boy for sure. And like there might be that drama, but it'll be warranted here because it's the platform for it. So I'm here for it. Here for it. So yeah, Operation Whoa Whoa, gross. Who can hold out? And like that they need to worry about Blake. Isn't that kind of grossed me out too?
Like, here we go again. This conversation about Blake, just like last season. Is this like, I don't understand what this trait is supposed to be. Like, okay, you like to have sex, you like to masturbate, that's fine, good for you. Like, that's actually fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But like, what are we supposed to feel about this?
Well,
it's like a better option, a worse option. It's funny. It's weird. Like, what is it? Who cares?
I got it. Like, I got it. It is to show, because I think somebody said it, maybe Trey was like, it's so hard for all of us because we're so turned on by Katie. So this is very difficult because like we're so attracted to her. So maybe it's to make her look more desirable that it's difficult for them to do.
Or literally just for the payoff that comes later.
The literal, like the ejaculation.
Yeah, the sprinkler.
Oh my God! Ew.
Not disturbed.
My God! Yes.
Is that what we like? Was that what it was for? Okay, great setup. Like, what was happening? I feel like the producers did a terrible job this episode. I just have to say, overall, this was such a lazy, shitty episode of production-wise that could have had so much potential, as we'll get to. But
okay, BB wants to know, how do they police it? I don't know. Like, maybe like the other guys will be like,
I'm sure it's an honor system.
him take a really long shower. So I suspect, and then like start pointing the finger. Like Aaron, spoiler alert, Aaron's gone this episode. So like he's the only one that would be policing it, really.
Yeah, he's probably like ready to start a fight with anyone who does and lies. I will miss his messiness for sure.
Will do, but we did hear that he's on Paradise, so you'll get to see your boy.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Less than a month away. That's exciting too. There's too much TV on right now.
It's really hitting hard this summer. Wow.
Like, I don't know if you saw this, but the Survivor starts September 29th. Mm-hmm. And then Survivor starts September 22nd, 2-hour premiere. Mm-hmm. Big Brother ends September 29th. So on this week before, it's going to be Big Brother at 10 p.m. And Survivor from 8 till 10. But it's also the challenge is going to be on. The challenge is starting in like a couple weeks, in like less than a month.
Yeah, they announced that today too.
Why the F is it still on Wednesday? Why are they competing with each other when they're still the same network? I'm like, I watch them all, and I want to watch them all on TV. I do. I want to be, we're a fan that pays for TV and watches these shows that are my favorite. Why are you making me have to go watch it in a rerun,
Yeah, that's tough. That's all on a Wednesday?
Yeah. 8 p.m. is like the hour. So I think that what's going to end up happening for me, I'm going to watch the challenge, do the recap with Michelle and Fanta, and then watch Survivor, whatever, and then have to do everything the next day. I won't be able to go live after Survivor until Big Brother's done or till I can't even go live at the episode because it's all the same time as the challenge. And the challenge is more important to me keeping our Wednesday than it is for me to switch up Survivor, which I've never covered. Paradise is also, I know, but at least Paradise is most likely going to be on like a Monday or a Tuesday or a Thursday. I don't think it's going to be on Wednesday.
No, I don't think so either. It's usually Monday, Tuesday, or something like that.
So yeah, I'm okay there. And even still, like Love Island might still be on, and I'm like, oh my god, like just like there's too much stuff. It's too much stuff on Wednesday.
Reality TV is really popping off in the summertime. It's like everything's on.
What day is F-Boy Island going to be on? Like, is it going to be like dropping 4 episode type style, which I definitely don't like. I'd rather them do like, if you want to drop them all in 1 week, every single day would be ideal because then you just like watch one, recap one, watch one, recap one. When you drop 4, it gets very difficult to find the time to watch them all. I just don't personally have like the patience to like, I'm just going to watch one today. So I'm like, okay, I need 4 hours to watch all 4 of these. And then I don't want to do a 4-hour or 4 episode recap. So I hope they figure that out because I don't like that about streaming sites where they just clump them all together. Please, please, please. Okay, so the date card is, oh my God, wait. I thought that you might have transcribed something.
Oh, no, I didn't because I watched it. So we were gonna, for the viewers here, we were gonna record this on Monday because I was not gonna be able to do it on Tuesday. So I didn't transcribe anything because I just wrote my notes during the episode thinking we were gonna record right after. But please enlighten me.
I mean, I didn't write it down either. I meant to go back.
I have some things here.
I think, you know what, like with Conor making all the sexual innuendos, like over at like, it just like the joke didn't land and they did take it too far, which is what you're supposed to do with a joke of that nature. But with him, it wasn't working for me.
No.
I wonder if I could find the clip of that because it was just so awkward of him.
Yeah, I remember when he was saying like, none of this, like no downstairs handshake, no, he was like throwing out all these terms, and I was like, oh my dude, tough episode for Conor. tough episode. Start to finish.
I mean, I knew that was going to be like, that was his vibe. Because like, you know, the cat thing, we never really were vibing with the cat thing. And we were always saying that the kisses didn't look like they felt really good or that they were working. Yeah. And it was just not, I think she was really like, oh my God, but I just thought it was so funny that he did the cat. And I'm just going to like overlook everything else. And maybe the passion will come. But it just didn't seem like it was going to be working. So we saw it all coming, but he clearly did not see it coming at all. We get our date card. And my darling Justin, I can picture a future with you. Love, Katie. So what did you think about Justin's date with Miss Katie? They are going to go and say their vows to each other dressed up in wedding gear and with Franco there. What do you think of this as a date for Justin?
Bachelor Nation photographer Franco back in.
I mean, I would be kind of upset if I didn't have one of my dates to be with Franco. Like, I feel like
at this point, yeah. I mean, he's just part of the universe. I feel like Franco was wearing this gorgeous like sequin dress. I think it was that I was like, I'm sure the stylist was jealous that they didn't choose that for Katie, since that seems to be the silhouette they keep going for her. This date is so lazy. Like, it's just like so boring. And the way that I felt, first of all, I think it's random and kind of weird that they do this date, because they're just literally putting them in a position where they see each other in this bridal setting, which like you would literally never do as a date at all in life. And I get that it's a show, but overwhelmingly what I felt is that I don't think Justin did anything wrong per se, but I just don't really feel it between them. Like, it was fine. It was fine. I don't feel like there was any super spark there. No. I feel like maybe they have more physical chemistry than she does with someone like Conor, but he's definitely like not up there in terms of actual contender.
The cat costume really friend-zoned him, and it got him far.
At first she really liked it. It
got him far, but it didn't mask the lack of chemistry. Yeah, I totally agree with you that I didn't really feel it. I was surprised that he got to the date rose, because I thought that it might have been his time to go. But I don't think we've seen the scene where they're riding in the back of like a horse and carriage. Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering if that's a hometown or if that's a next week type date. And so I knew, because we hadn't seen that he must be sticking around. But I was thinking, like, I don't know if he even likes her that much. Like, obviously he wants to be here. Obviously he wants to win. Obviously he likes her enough. But I could picture him really vibing with somebody, and it's not Katie. You know what I mean?
Yes. Like, he seemed chill and fine. Like I said, he handled everything pretty well, but there was no ness to it. Like, it was just kind of like surface level everything. Like, that was,
I liked what he had to say, though. I was kind of like, if he said that to me, I'd probably melt. I'd be like, thank you. So what I thought was cute, though, that when he met Franco, Justin, he was like, I'm a hugger, and he like hugs Franco. I was like, you're cute. You're a hugger, Justin. You're a hugger. So yeah, they're getting married, and BB says, yes, the fans are sick of the wedding dates. Absolutely. I'm sick of the wedding dates. If you're going to do the wedding dates, maybe do something a little bit different about it. I don't know what you could do that could make it any better. Like, make them dirty or make them, I don't know. They kind of do the running in the woods, playing capture the flag stuff. Like, I don't know, something else. But this date was boring. It didn't show me that they were great together. They didn't even do the photo shoot. Like, do the photo shoot at least to make let me see like their photo album.
Yeah. You know? Or like, where were these shots that Franco took? Did we see any of that? I guess we saw a little bit of it. But
maybe one. Just like seeing it as a still, as a moving frame, and then a still of it. And it's like, no, I want to see the photo. I want to see it edited. Like, I want to see it look like it's going to go in a book. You know? Yeah.
Also, didn't they do this exact date last season?
The exact date last season, yes, they did.
So again, they didn't even think of anything else. Like, who's being paid for this?
Well, couldn't they? If they're going to copy a date,
and pasted, yeah.
But if they're going to copy a date, why didn't they do the painting date that Tayshia and Zach also did?
That's coming up.
I probably actually they're saving it for like a hometown thing. Like, this is like studio. Yeah. And then they'll do like some sort of like ghost movement. Yeah. Ghost moment where they're like, hands intertwined, staring at each other's eyes as they're like playing with paint. Okay. So I did hear that Justin apologized for his problematic tweets. He was saying like young, dumb apologize, no excuse. Did you see them?
I did see them. They're mostly from 2011, which does absolutely not justify them, by the way. But yeah, very disappointing to see these. I didn't read his apology or hear his apology. I think it was on Bachelor Happy Hour. But yeah, I never love to see this kind of stuff. It's always like really unfortunate when you see, like, even if you're younger, it's just not great. It's not great.
But teenager, I don't know. Teenager. Yes, you know right from wrong, but also, was it with? I don't know if I was talking with you. Oh, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was with. I think it was with Fanta and Michelle, and talking about Natalie's tweets. And one of them that, like, some of them were, I couldn't excuse them, but one of them was that she was calling, the BET, the Ratchet Awards or something like that. And I looked up when the term ratchet kind of came into our vocabulary or vernacular. And like, it was in the time when she posted those tweets, and that's when everything was ratchet. Like I don't know who had the song that had like ratchet, like that was the word of describing culturally a certain type of music. And so for people pulling that and out of context, yeah, like maybe then you're saying that like Black people are ratchet, but in 09 or whatever it was, that, or 12, I can't remember what it was, but that was a common word that people used to describe certain things. So not to make it okay, but culturally that was acceptable at the time. And so I can slightly take a little bit of like easing up off of it, knowing that like you thought that you're just being with the times and then didn't realize that like, hey, like maybe it was a bit tone deaf what I was thinking 10 years ago, 12 years ago, 15 years ago. So
a lot of the ones that I understand what you're saying. And I do think there's certain things in the vocabulary that were more present. It's like, they were never right to say, but we've evolved a lot since it, like, if you watch a 90s like comedy, or even I like the other day I was somewhere where there was cable and American Pie was on, and I was like, oh my God, like a lot of these jokes are like really, they did not age well. We're still weird and wrong at the time, I guess, obviously, but like that was something that people were more, it was more normalized to be said. And like, when I see his, though, there's some homophobic ones that are not a good look. Like I still wouldn't be using like slur, like the F word slur, even in 2011 feels very off for me. So I don't love it. But at the same time, if someone's going to apologize and try and, rectify their actions and understand that they've caused something wrong, he did delete the tweets, like, I'll give anyone the benefit of the doubt to grow, but I don't love it. Also, there was tweets from Andrew S. as well, too.
I know. I didn't see his tweets. Justin seemed to be more on the forefront. But I did see that both of them had some, you can't go on these shows without like Twitter and Reddit. Just like they're going to be scrubbing your files. And they took a screenshot of anything you've ever done. Like, I don't know how they know you're going to be famous. They've already taken a screinshot. Like it's quite. In
the words of Dorinda Medley, say it, forget it, write it, regret it. And that's what's happening. I will always, even with all of the people that we've talked about in our podcasting journey, whether it's a Rachel Kirkconnell or a Taylor Nolan or Justin in this case or whatever, I think there's context to every scenario. I think that they're not good tweets to surface on any of them or any of the photos of Rachel, all of that stuff. I will always try and meet every single person with the belief that they have the ability to change and will let for their actions to determine that at the end of the day. Like, that's kind of how I operate. And I don't say that as a letting people off for things that are wrong. I think, bringing them to light and having people address it is fine. But I hope that all of these people can be better as a result of those situations. And if they are or aren't, is their journey. But I try and give people the capacity to change and then go from there.
It's even like with I was doing a rewatch recently of most of the older challenge seasons, and they use the R word like nobody's business. And that it's quite jarring in some of the language and how
Totally.
the misogyny and like, how they
the misogyny is crazy on there for sure.
And it was pretty acceptable.
Saying crazy just now is not great.
I know. I try to take that out of my vocabulary as well, and it depends on where you've been growing up. It depends on the friends that you're being with. It depends on what type of humor you think is funny or is acceptably funny around you. And so I do give, like you, a slight leeway that people can mature and grow and become more worldly. Like maybe they're from a small town and that is what is acceptable there. And now they've moved to a bigger city and they've met more people and realized, oh my God, I've been saying this my whole life. Yeah. I didn't know it was offensive. Like it was just common for whatever. And so I will
you feel like you've hurt someone, you feel remorse for that. That's real for some people. And sometimes it takes, it shouldn't have to, but it takes them being called out or for someone to explain to them that that's wrong. You'll see that in people be like, oh my God, I did not want to do that. How do I
fix
be better as a result of this? And then some people don't. And that's, that's their decision. And that's where we can judge on a bit more,
Like I heavily judge Victoria on who I believe her to be. Mm-hmm. More than I'll judge Justin, and Victoria is still invited to paradise. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think Justin is doing okay. I'm sad that he had these things come up. Same with Andrew S. But I do hope that he's learned from it, because especially if he's going to be in the public sphere. I think that he just probably didn't even think about something that he said so long ago, like. Because if I knew that I said something, I would have gone and scrubbed that and been like, let's just take that out of the narrative. I'm not that person. I don't want anybody to think I'm that person. And so clearly he just didn't even realize that he might have ever even said anything that was offensive or offside. So
yeah.
Aw, Justin, you might not be Bachelor now because of this action. They probably did that on purpose. Find these things so we can't have another Black Bachelor like Justin. So, okay, Hunter is saying that me, you, and Conor are already top four. So I guess that's Greg, Conor, Hunter. And who's the person? Who's the fourth person?
It never gets revealed. It never gets revealed.
Right, because somebody else is like, oh yeah, there's somebody else. Somebody else. Who's the fourth person though? Like,
it must be Blake. Like, it must be Blake.
Yes.
Like, how could it not be? I'm dead at this conversation. I think this is one of the things this episode that there's a few things I tried to hammer in, which is the whoa situation being peppered in throughout the episode. Hunter's journey as a Bachelor historian and super fan, and the necessity of Katie to have the perfect kiss with Conor. These three things were like what the episode was about. So here we go, super fan. We heard it about 1,000 times this episode. Hunter the super fan.
Well, I mean, this is
new information.
Why he knew so strongly that Thomas was here for the wrong reasons, because he probably is.
He knows, yeah.
He knows what it's like to be there for the wrong reasons, of course. Yeah, I definitely was like, why is Hunter turning into this person? Like, it's because he knows he doesn't have a chance and he's just trying to get as much screen time as possible. Like, what happened to Hunter? And also, since when is he that short? I did not know that he was so small.
Oh, I feel like he was always that short. Like, I could tell that him and Conor didn't seem very tall to me. But I also never... Oh,
Hi, Cassandra. Hi, guys. It's our first recap. I'm tuning in because Katie's season has been so boring. I can't even finish the episodes. How are you guys liking her as a Bachelorette? I liked her more in the beginning. That the episode where she let go of Thomas, I thought was done poorly, and I didn't think it was to the brand that they're trying to sell me on of Katie. So from that point moving on, I haven't really been that interested in her journey. I want to see how it ends, of course. I want her to find love, of course, but I'm not as invested because I just didn't like how she handled that situation. What about you?
Mm-hmm. I mean, gosh, we weren't really excited for her that much to begin with when she was announced. And then when the season started, I liked the pilot or the premiere episode a lot. I thought that was really fun. I was very into it. At first few weeks, I was liking her more and more. And then since about the same week that Chantele mentioned and going forward from there, I've just been less and less into it. I think there's a point in every lead's journey where they kind of like crack and like start to lose it a little bit. Kind of like in Peter's season when he hurt himself. I feel like that was a physical manifestation of his mental state, which was like very like all over the place and clearly like it was too much. I feel like everyone goes through that transition where at the beginning they're like going with it, they're the lead, they're excited about the possibilities, blah, blah, blah. And then some point along the way, they start to realize that they can't just do what they want to do and they have to still like do the show. And once that tension hits, I feel a lot of people detach. And I kind of feel like that's where Katie's at right now. Kind of like, I'm done with this, but I still have to play this role.
Is it the fence jump moment? Like, is that like there's always
the
a fence jump moment? Yes, exactly. In every season? Oh my God, that's something we should go and do clips of. What's the fence jump moment in every season of The Bachelor and Bachelorette? That's an off-season podcast if we ever need it. I don't think that there's
just always that point. So I think that's where Katie is here. And yeah, I don't love her decision making. I don't really agree with a lot of the qualities that she's kind of celebrating. And a lot of the guys, she's very medium for me. I don't dislike her, but I don't love her at all as a Bachelorette. No.
Yeah, me too. She's not going to go down like, oh my God, my favorite Bachelorette in history. That season was amazing. Like, definitely a forgettable season, especially since we're also hearing that Michelle's season is going to be no COVID protocol. So they will be able to move and fly to different places. So she might get a full Bachelorette experience with like the travel portion and, you know, extravagant dates and stuff. So that's really exciting.
Yes.
I'm happy that Michelle is date number 2 so that she gets
what
to
she
have,
deserves.
Like, definitely deserves. Agreed. So thanks for joining us. What do you think, Cassandra? What do you think of this? Did you watch the episode or are you just hanging out with us? Which is totally fine as well. What else happened here? Okay, James and Brendon and Aaron talk about the Sneakster. What am I talking about?
Hunter.
Oh, the Sneakster. Oh, no, it's the show. Who called the Sneakster?
This is on all the Bachelor blogs and forums. That killed me.
Cassandra, I feel the same. She's so basic. Poor thing. LOL. The ratings are down by like 30% too. Hopefully Michelle can pick it back up. I think Michelle will pick it back up. I think it's a better time of year for her to be doing the season. Fall, I would say, would be better than summer for the Bachelorette or Bachelor even. Summer to me is for Bikini Island stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see Paradise. I want to see actual Love Island. I want to see even Temptation. Like, give me all the island shows. I don't want to watch, you know, a serious love journey. So I do think that timing, how it's starting at the end of the summer or September even, maybe even October, I don't know. But later, I think it's be a better time. The fact that there's not going to be any COVID protocols, they will be able to travel. I think that the ratings might go back up. And this wasn't a bad season, so hopefully it laid the groundwork to have like exponential growth.
Yes.
I don't think it will go down from this season. I really hope not. That'd be terrible. Just hanging out with you guys. Didn't watch the ep because they're always bad. Well, you missed the whoa. This week, the guys they've been proposed to not whack off. A week off of whacking off is what the whoa is. And so Blake, as you probably know who that is he's definitely going to have a lot of trouble. Like, did they have a date where he was telling her when he does it? Like, oh, I did it then. Oh, I did it then.
And when he goes to visit her later.
Oh, that's when that happens? Oh.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think he does mention that he's like once in the morning, once before bed or something like this. And I was like, okay, like.
So Tamika said it's not a bad season. Katie's a bad lead. That could be it too. She maybe isn't that exciting. And she's not really bringing that much other than just what the producers are giving her, like the dates for. Like, she doesn't really bring that extra oomph. So I agree with you, Tamika. I can see that too. So yeah, Justin does his vows. He's a little bit nervous. Then they do the cake all over their face. My mom was so mad. She's like, I hate when people do that. Why do they do that? Like, I hate having cake all over my face. Like, it's just so sticky and annoying.
So bad for your skin.
So bad for your skin. I wouldn't eat it all, but like maybe like a little push around the mouth, but like cake all over the face, I'd just be pissed.
No. We're not speaking the rest of the day.
It's like, we're not getting married if you put cake in my face.
Oh, absolutely not.
So Andrew does get the next date card, and it says Blake, Andrew, Michael, Greg, Aaron, Mike P, James, Trey, and Brendon's in there as well, and Hunter. There's so many men still left this episode. I was like, wow, there's a lot of people left. But then I heard from you that there was going to be, I think it was 5 exits, and I thought it was going to be spontaneous, like random exits.
Yeah.
It really made it seem like it was very unexpected. This was quite expected, except for one.
That promo is BS. I'm literally so angry that I even got excited about the episode from watching that promo, because I thought it said 5 surprise exits.
Yes, it did.
You can't include the rose ceremony. You cannot include the rose ceremony for that. That's obviously when people exit the show. I was like, the audacity. Like, how could you tell me 5 surprise exits when it's not a surprise that people are eliminated? Maybe a surprise that you'll air it in an episode, because sometimes you don't show it to me. But like, it's not a surprise when people are eliminated at the rose ceremony. I was livid, actually livid. I was like, I wanted to see people leave. I wanted like something to happen and people to be like, I'm out. Like, that's what 5 surprise exits are to me.
Absolutely. And like,
Conor, sure.
A post about it, like to make a post about it, like very, very, very misleading.
They're struggling to get the viewers for sure.
They didn't do a good job. We told them like Katie isn't it. Hi, Natalie. So they announced some people for Paradise. So yes, so I believe Justin's on Paradise. Conor. I think everybody that got eliminated this week is on Paradise. Thomas for sure. Conor. Hunter. Oh, was Hunter?
Karl on Paradise.
Karl's going to be on Paradise.
Hold on, I'm going to look it up.
Some of the women, I couldn't remember who they were, but out of the guys, yeah, it was a lot of the people that were on.
Oh, yes.
Today. Not Hunter.
So, sorry, we made some mistakes. It's Aaron,
okay. Yes,
Conor,
I saw that.
Trey, and James, the box man.
Who's James? Oh, I'm like, who's James?
the Aries box man.
James
but then
the box.
Karl was announced like with the original
earlier when
because he was already eliminated at that point.
Right now I'm living for Karl, because like if he's gonna make a career out of like being the Bachelor villain and then he's gonna find love and then get like a TV special for his wedding, like I'll take it. Like maybe he's gonna date Kelsey or someone really, really random. Like I'm here for that chaos. Bring it to me. Like I didn't need it on The Bachelorette, but I'll take it on The Bachelor in Paradise. What do you think about Wells being the new MC? He's the worst. Yes, I'm not denying this, but
he's not going to last very long on Paradise. I don't think.
I'm here to see how much he doesn't fit into Paradise. I want to see that mess.
Honestly, Karl feels like so long ago. Because it was. We've had 2 villains since then. How can I even think about it?
Will a new villain emerge next week? Is it going to be Greg? Is it going to become the new villain?
Is the villain Greg?
Or is it Blake because he says that he's not in love with her?
I think this is like the transition where like the bad things come from the guys that she actually has a connection with. So like something like Greg or Blake stepping into that role, and also because all the dramatic people who unionize have been cut out at this point. I don't think there will be any of the same level of pinning it on our target that they've been doing basically the entire season. To answer your Wells question, I feel medium about it. Like, I really liked Wells initially, like in his appearance on The Bachelorette. I thought he was really awkward and endearing. But as I get more and more and more of him, I'm like less and less and less interested. That being said, I think he has like good rapport. Like he's able to like talk to people and do stuff. So whatever this expanded role is going to be, I think he'll be decent at it. Like I'm not angry to see him, but I don't really care that much about him. Like I feel like I'm kind of over him at this point.
Like what I'd
rather see him than Ben Higgins. I'd rather see him than Nick. I'd rather see him than a few people. So
for sure, I agree with that because like people are just probably trying to get me angry, but they're saying that Nick is being groomed to be the next like host of The Bachelor and Bachelorette.
And planted that seed in your mind.
But like it's been other people have said it. Like
he's trying something, that's for sure.
It's not good. I really, even my mom, like I go to my mom because like she's completely out of like, Twitter universe and like, just like hearing all the buzz. So whenever I watch it with her or I talk to her about these shows, like she'll just give me her honest perspective as somebody that's really separated. And she does not like Nick Viall at all. She's like, who is this guy? Like, why is he giving advice? Like saying all the things that we say. So I'm like, why? Ask Nick? I don't want to ask Nick. I want to ask somebody else. Like, why Nick? What do you think of Victoria's new look? Hi, Nat. I think I already said hi to you, Natalie, but hi again.
I think she looks good.
Great.
I mean, I'm surprised that the blonde is working for her. I feel like when I initially saw her with blonde hair, it was like very jarring, but looking at the promo photo, she looks good.
I think she looks good too. I wouldn't have expected her to be a blonde, and she definitely cleans up. Maybe she's, people were making fun of her lack of makeup and, she didn't look that fresh on The Bachelorette. So she's probably like, okay, or The Bachelor, I'm going to make sure that I look good for this, especially for like these promo shots, because people are just going to be looking for anything to poke at me. So I think she's just going to take that more seriously. And would they have like makeup artists on Bachelor in Paradise? What do they do over there? Or do they do their own makeup?
I feel like I heard about this through a podcast a long time ago. I forget who was talking about it, but I think they literally do their own makeup there because the girls bring like trolleys of makeup and then like kind of set up and do it. So you're also doing makeup for like a hot climate, going in and out of the pool. Like I feel like the name of the game is like having a full face, but it not looking like you have a full face, looking like you're beachy and fresh, which still requires a lot of makeup for these types of people, but natural. That's a lot, yeah. Or like body glow, like you're in a bikini all the time. Like there's a lot of things to think about for sure.
Imagine how big Nick's head would be if he got the chance to host. I want to get
It's already so big.
Oh my God. But like, he got a puppy as well. So puppy and a new girlfriend, like that's him definitely working at the angle of like, I'm such a relationship man. I should be the host of the show. Blech. Why'd you put that in my head, Tanya?
I'm sorry. I just saw the patterns emerging. Because he also mentioned that the group date that he hosted was like his idea, I guess, or like he like worked with them to like develop the idea for that date, and I was like, even worse that it went this way.
Credit for that date?
You're taking credit for doing a very, very unsafe AA meeting on this show. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I can't with him. I actually like now in the my up and down Nick thing, I'm in the down for sure. I'm just
my God, so down. I'm so down. I try to listen to his stuff. I'm just like, you know what? Even if I like the guest now, I can't listen to him. So yeah, he does that. I can't listen to his show.
I did listen to Katie on it though, because I had to know how.
I'm happy you did for me. I just don't think I could do it because even on that show, I didn't like hearing her. Like I heard a few clips here and there, and I just was like, I don't really want to hear her respond to any of these questions. It just made me angry for whatever reason. So it seems like none of the guys are into her except like 2 or 3. Who are the 2 or 3, Cassandra? Tamika's saying definitely not Aaron. We knew that Aaron wasn't into her at all.
No.
At all. And so for this group date, though, so the queen is looking for her king, Katie, I'm assuming it said. And so she's going to be hanging out with some drag queens. So Shea Coulee and Monet Exchange, I was really pumped to see them on ABC. And you obviously watch Drag Race as well. So were you excited to see them?
I was thrilled to see them. I love both Monet and Shea so much. So I was really excited. I was like, oh, we got like top tier queens on the show. Like this is like the best of the best. So I was really excited, and what a breath of fresh air to have them there, because I just like needed something else. I wish they had been used even more or even better, but I was so glad that they were there, and I was really happy to see them for sure.
What's really interesting, and like I don't know if it's just because I'm just comparing Katie to my group of friends, or like even like my my acquaintances and whatnot. Everybody's pretty well versed in the LGBTQ2S community, we'll say, like friends, like all are going to drag shows, like hanging out in Toronto on Church Street. Like it's just very common to be interacting with drag queens in my life and in most people's life around me. Like I don't know anybody in my life that's never gone to a drag show or been on to a gay bar or anything like that. It's just like I just don't know anybody that's and
Drag Race is so popular, like so many people
and not watch Drag Race. And so I didn't feel as though Katie was a fan of Drag Race or has ever really been with drag queens. She seemed very out of place to me with her interactions with both of them. So I don't know if she was like just struck, or if she's just never been in an environment with like that type of talent and personality.
Yeah, no, that's so funny. And my partner actually mentioned that, like, he was just like, because he obviously knows Monet and Shea from us watching Drag Race, but then also was like not watching The Bachelorette while I'm watching it. And he was like, she doesn't seem comfortable around drag queens. And I was like, interesting. I didn't take it as like a lack of comfort necessarily, or just maybe a lack of familiarity, or maybe like you said, she was like starstruck or something, but there was like, she wasn't just chilling. She seemed a little bit like uncomfortable.
If I was hanging out with some drag queens, like it would just, they're usually, from my experience, all so fun. Like they're usually very complimentary. Be like, oh my God, girl, you're so hot, or whatever. Like it's usually like a lot of banter, a lot of like, sass, let's put on some music, let's dance, like whatever. Like it's just, I find it's usually high energy, a lot of fun, especially if they're dressed up for like a show or whatnot. Like maybe regular every day, that might be more that the interaction would be how Katie was on this particular date. But like if I'm hanging out with them when they're dressed up, I'd be complimenting them as well. I'd be like, can you walk for me? Come on, show me a number.
You'd be like, oh my God, like someone who's gonna like actually tell me like real opinions and thoughts. Like that's what I require at this point in time, because they have no stake in the game. And they're like, obviously they're the best, because like I could tell just knowing their personalities through the show. Obviously I don't know them, but like they were also like, this is so jokes, like we're on The Bachelorette right now, like oh my God, lol. So like let's have fun with this, and like let's also be self-aware, but like let's also like kind of stir it up and like try and make this a little bit more exciting. And I loved that. I was like, thank God, like they know this is so silly that they're doing this. They know that this show is like ridiculous. It's Katie and this group of men. Like it's not even like, this is child's play for them. So I appreciated that they were able to kind of like inject something into this, which the men did not rise to the occasion for. But
Oh, not at all. So even casual, the drag queens outdress her. I know. I mean, I think this is what she is comfortable in. I don't think she likes being too flashy or whatnot. But these stylists could have maybe elevated her casual look. Her casual look is really basic, going to Target, and I'm just like throwing on a t-shirt, jeans, and some Keds. Like cute, it can be cute, but like maybe if you're gonna do like maybe it should be a little more cropped, the white shirt, so it's a little bit sexy. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Her basic was like literally Old Navy and like a Gap t-shirt, and I just wanted to be elevated basic, if that's what she's going to go for. So Cassandra was thinking that Blake, Michael A. actually like her. I don't even think Greg likes her that much. Neither do we. we don't think he likes her.
That's pretty accurate, I would say.
Tamika agrees. Don't think Greg really likes her either. Yeah, he's faking it, I think.
Big Peter Krause vibes from Greg.
Yeah. That's a good call. Katie is very Target, very Gap, very Old Navy sigh. I mean, I've found some great pieces in all those places, but pieces. I would never. If
it's
someone
so sad
like,
because she's being styled.
Like, oh my God, like how fun would it be to have all these designer clothes like at your fingertips, and like she's just wearing basics from basic stores, it seems. Just if you want to wear basic, make sure it's like Dolce & Gabbana or something. Like, I don't know, a little bit elevated. I mean, maybe it is a little bit elevated and it really just looks super cash, super low brand, but
I think because she's also like super petite, like when she wears like dress up clothes, it looks like she's wearing clothes that are wearing her. And then when she wears dress down clothes, like kind of like that pink cropped hoodie and denim, I was like, she also looks like she could be in high school. You know, like the discrepancy between those two is so big to me. And I think it's maybe just her stature. Like,
true.
She's
I wonder how
like,
tall she actually is.
I think she's my height. I think she's 5'3".
5'3". I mean, that's still like not super small, you know.
Sure, though. We're not tall. Really not tall.
I mean, I'm not that much taller than 5'5", so I don't know. Maybe she doesn't wear heels. Maybe that's what it is. She doesn't learn how to like make herself be tall, because that's what people always think that I'm tall. And I'm like, I ain't tall, but I just wear tall shoes, and I walk tall. So, okay, they show the evening portion of the date but we'll go back to the drag queens. And I was like, is she going to dump Justin? Like, I really felt that there was a moment where she was going to dump him, and then she ends up giving him the rose, and like I was very surprised. So you got 5 points there for Justin getting the rose. She tells a story about her father, finding out that her father wasn't her biological father when he passed away. So she shared a very intimate moment with Justin, which I was surprised about. So that made me believe that, oh, she is more interested in him and wants to potentially maybe take him to hometowns or develop something further with him for her to be, if she's going to be dumping the guy, why is she going to be getting emotionally connected and deep with him? So it makes me think that he's going to go to hometowns.
That probably tracks, because like who's left? If we can assume that obviously Blake and Greg, I think everyone can assume, will be going to hometowns, that leaves 2 spots. Mm-hmm. So I find it hard to believe that it wouldn't be
Andrew.
Maybe Andrew. Yeah, but what about Michael? Oh, unless he leaves.
Michael's out of here.
I forgot about that.
Maybe like, Daddy doesn't love me anymore, or whatever he says.
Yeah. I know.
His kid.
I really stressed out about that.
Oh, I'm 5'3". Yeah, we're not tall.
It's a great height. I really stressed out about that, by the way. I was like, I had a moment after we talked about that trailer, and then I made the mistake of like going on Reddit and reading what people were saying about the editing of that statement of like the child being like, Daddy's not around or whatever. And we're like, this is beyond, like, this is too far. Like, how could producers do this? And I was literally just laughing about this on the show. But it still stands at how ridiculously they're editing that. Like, come on, that is outrageous. But people were up in arms. They were like, how dare the show do this? I was like, this show milks like people's spouses being dead. Like, come on. Like, this is not out of the ordinary for this show. It's crazy. No, sorry. It's not right, but
So why does Katie's life story seem staged the way that she tells them? I think it's because she's told to tell an emotional story at a certain point, and she's not a performer. So she doesn't know how to bring it up in a way that's like engaging still with the not being organically coming out in the moment. Like, I think it's because she's told to hit certain marks of like topics of conversation, and she's just not good at juggling that naturally. with her life story. So yeah, I think it's just she'll be better if she ever came back for a second season. Like should have it down. I think.
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
I know.
I've heard like lines.
I've heard this too.
Really
Tamika.
though?
I don't want it.
Do people really want this? Like, I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter what people really want. We've had a lot of flops.
I think it's because she's not really meshing that well with the guys, and she's not really that great at being the center of attention and having that kind of command over the situation. I think she's in a very unfamiliar territories, and she's not shining, I don't believe, in being the Bachelorette. So I think that's why she's not being very charismatic, is because I think she's really a fish out of water in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't suit her at all,
She's trying to be Kaitlyn Bristow, but she's not Kaitlyn.
No, so Kaitlyn came from more of a performance background. And
Kaitlyn's just more natural. Like, I don't know. She feels like more real in some way, even though I get that it's just as performative. She just delivers things better, and they seem like that's why she's so successful in the way that people follow her on social media, and she really she has all her different businesses and her podcast, and people love what she has to offer. So it's very played out, but it feels more natural and it feels more interesting, even though it's maybe equally as basic, because her interests are like wine. It's not more exciting than what Katie's doing, but she's just a more exciting person naturally, and naturally better banter person.
100%. So Kaitlyn's okay with messing up and looking clumsy and stuff, more organic. Absolutely. I mean, I know they're trying to make it look like Katie is really comfortable with being goofy and silly and awkward. But it also looks very contrived when she does those moments of being awkward, which is doubly awkward.
Yeah.
Just remembering the days how Tayshia captivated her group of guys. Those were the days. She
really did. When Tayshia walked in, you're like, this is a literal Disney princess. She looks like the most gorgeous, just presence and everything she wears. You're like, oh my God, she was still styled by the same terrible stylist, but she just looked better. She just has this thing that Katie doesn't have. So I guess that's why they're trying to lean into the relatability aspect, but it's not working for me.
It's not working for me either. So back to the drag queen date here. So they were all kind of reading each other, and I didn't find that anybody was really good. They kind of were all going in on Hunter. They asked him who's least compatible. Brendon says Hunter. I wish that they used it to actually do a little bit of a roast, because I thought that would have been really fun to see them roast.
Yeah.
If you're going to roast Hunter, actually roast Hunter. I would have been
are we doing a reading challenge or no? Because if we're not actually doing it, and I don't think these guys are going to be good at it anyways, then what are we doing here? What was the point of this? For them to be like, we don't trust Hunter. Yes, we don't like Hunter. It's we know.
Read. I would have just loved it if people were trying to make up jokes, and it would have been great, because they would have all bombed, and maybe there would be one person that was decent, and they would have appreciated it. I feel like maybe Shea Coulee and Monet didn't. I mean, I don't think they care. They probably got paid a pretty penny to be there, but it would have been. They would have felt success and happiness if these guys became really good readers, and so I felt it was a missed opportunity to show a lighter, funner side. I don't care about the bad guy in the group anymore at all.
No.
Hunter's there for the wrong reasons. I don't care. Don't point it out. I don't care. Just let it go. She's not going to pick him in the end if he's not a great guy for her. Just let it be. She'll figure it out.
Exactly. And also she's being forced to keep him by producers up until this point anyways. So I don't think she's actually really... She's trying to sell it like she has feelings for him. She does not. And also, I feel like you would have stood out so much in this date if you could also joke and accept the joke about yourself, because that's part of the reading challenges is you are roasting another person and you're definitely telling a joke that's on edge, but at the same time you receive the jokes that are equally as intense about yourself and how you receive that, and having that awareness, being able to take the piss out of yourself, that's part of it. So I would be so much more attracted to someone who would be able to do that kind of thing or go with that flow.
Yes.
That being said, I respect actually how Hunter reacted in this situation.
I agree.
Honestly, I'm not a fan of his, but I thought, to be honest, he kind of rose above it in a good way. He didn't let it like.
Do I get 5 points
petty.
for that?
I think so. I honestly think so.
Thank you.
He handled himself decently, really.
Yeah, I mean, I think that if he deserved the rose for how he handled this situation, 100%. And it's called the Great Royal Debate. Like, why didn't they make it a Great Royal Debate? That would have been awesome. Like, if they're standing up on stage and like just doing a proper roast. So I was disappointed there. Before we get to the evening portion, Conor gets his date card because he was left out of both dates. And it says, Conor, let's let our love shine bright. Love, Katie. I'm just like, eye roll, but whatever. So the evening portion comes, and Katie says that she heard a few things that concerned her. And then she's like, cheers on to finding the one. And I was just like, I just, what's happening? Like, why does it always have to be addressing things that were concerning her? Like, what happened to the falling in love and just enjoying getting to know these new people instead of playing with a witch hunt on who is not there for the right reasons? Like, it's just so distracting. Just focus on the connections that you have with people, and your heart will most likely steer you in the right direction if you don't allow yourself to be taken up in this storm of mess. I was so annoyed.
Yeah.
Katie. She kisses Andrew, and she does say, I think she says, or does Andrew say, that no one kisses like they do? So I was like, okay, so that's good that their kisses are good. I guess it was it was foreshadowing what was going to happen later in the episode.
The kiss.
Greg is embarrassed, but Katie loved it. I guess so. I don't remember why she was embarrassed specifically. About the roast, was it?
I think about the roast. I don't know why he was embarrassed. He's always embarrassed. He's always shy. Was this when he tells her that he needs confirmation from her, or is it at the rose ceremony? I can't remember.
I don't really.
But there is a conversation that he has. He has a conversation with her that's like, I know how I feel, but I need to know, like, if you're also in this with me. And then she tells him that she's falling for him.
That's this conversation. So what I wrote down from this conversation, and she's like, you seem like hesitant or something. Oh no. And then I guess they smooch or something. She's like, I'm falling for you. And then he says that, I'm falling for you. And he's like, she's like, ask me anything, I'll tell you the truth. They kissed. I'm falling for you. So it must have been that moment that I just didn't write down everything.
But it's good confirmation for him to receive. She's just like straight up telling him that she's falling for him. Yeah, and I actually think that she likes him. I buy that. But I don't think the reverse is as true.
So I wrote James is going out to Hunter. We're going out to talk to him. Is that what happened?
No, he was going to bring up to Katie that Hunter.
Oh, going to out Hunter is what I wrote down.
He said he was going to be raising a concern about Hunter to Katie.
Sorry.
As we know, is a bad idea. It's a bad idea. It somehow worked for Trey earlier. It's not going to work again. Stop doing this.
Don't do it, James. She doesn't like you enough and it's too late in the game to do this. Who cares? Don't worry about it. Yeah. Blake and her have the conversation. This is where he's like, I'm struggling with it. Blah, 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 blah. They kiss. Yeah. Move on. Who wrote this? Oh, So she had like a soundbite or a mini confession, be like, oh my God, I'm having a blast. And every time she says, like, I'm having a blast, best night ever, something to that effect, you know that somebody's coming to go buzzkill the moment. And so this is James. So James obviously compliments her and her dress, and then mentions that there's a lack of consistency with Hunter, and that, you know, he's a walking Bachelorette, Bachelor Nation dictionary, and, you know, I don't know if he says the right reasons.
He says, I think this is what he says. He's on the blogs and forums, which killed me. Bachelor blogs and forums. I'm like, yep, same.
Let's have them on. Trey also takes his time with Katie to throw some shade Hunter's way. And then I said Aaron, obviously, they did the same. It works for them up until now. So obviously they've been trained to like, oh, this works to get more time with Katie. But it's just such a bad look. I would have gotten rid of the guys in the beginning that did this because I think it's just like wasting my time. Let me enjoy my love story. Maybe I want to make out with the guy that's here for the wrong reasons because I'm attracted to him and I want to explore that relationship. And then when I realize that it's not the one for me, I let him go. Like, why do I need to let him go on your terms? Because you've decided that he's not here for the right reason. So I need to get rid of him because he's the cancer in the house. Like, it's my journey. Get out of here.
And you notice who's not talking about Hunter? Greg, Blake, Andrew. They're not wasting their time with her talking about someone else, which at this point, this time is precious as they keep saying, oh, we never have time. We never have time. I'm so mad Hunter's taking all this time with her. So then stop talking about Hunter when you're having your time with her.
Exactly.
Like, it just doesn't make sense. Strategically, it doesn't make sense.
Especially on a group date,
Yeah.
So she wants to hear Hunter out. She says that someone had compared Hunter to Thomas. He said, as far as being calculated, I'm just focused on you. So, I think that she should just take that. Like, he is just focused on her. Thomas, he might want to be the Bachelor eventually, but he was focused on her. Like, he didn't really care about the guys and what they thought about them. Like, I think that I don't think that Tyler's her guy or that Hunter's her guy or Thomas. I don't think so. For sure. I think that they would have gone eventually. I just wish that it just played out naturally. I would have preferred that as opposed to like these tattletaling every day. There's a new tattletale. I'm just bored. So I don't know what happened. Was Katie sick and like she wasn't like on screen? Like what happened?
She needed to throw up. So she leaves because it was getting overwhelming. Like having all these conversations, she like freaks out. And she's just like, I can't like do this. And then she steps away, just like feeling nauseous, goes to throw up. And then she comes back in another blazer on top and says that we're not doing the rest of the date. And I'm not giving out the rose tonight.
Which is like, see guys, you ding dongs, like you may have gotten a rose tonight. Things may have gone very differently if they didn't take that time to basically hurt Katie's feelings and make her feel like nobody's there for the right reasons, that she's not going to meet her person, that like nothing's about her. It's all about like the drama in the house. Like you just made her feel like crap for their own whatever screen time. I don't know. And now they didn't even get more time with her, which is kind of what they think that they want or say that they want anyway. So I was like, I roll. I'm happy that they're not having a date because they deserve it. They deserve that. So Conor's date happens and she wants to move past the friend zone with him, but she's not sure if this is going to happen. So then she has a really friend zone-y date as a double date with Jason and Kaitlyn. So Jason and Kaitlyn are a fun couple. What Kaitlyn was saying that they started off as really good friends and then the chemistry kind of built. And so maybe that's why she had them kind of, have a double date with this particular couple because she's supposed to be so much like Kaitlyn. And I guess they're saying that Conor's kind of like a Jason, but Jason has a little more personality. Conor's sweet, but like he's kind of boring for me. A little bit boring. I
mean, this was just like the moment he wheeled his suitcase and they showed him tap it and walk away to go to his date. I thought he will be eliminated for sure on this date. There's always a favorite that gets eliminated somewhat surprisingly. Usually it's a 2-on-1 or now these days in the 1-on-1s where they eliminate people. But I just feel like the odds were stacked against him. Like, how the hell are you supposed to live up to the expectation of this final test of a kiss? If that's not actually there, there's no way he could succeed. Like, there's nothing that he could do to, like, make the physical connection better. And it's clear that the producers, like, wanted it to go this way because everybody mentioned the kiss thing. Like, everyone did. So, I mean, I kind of felt for him in regards to the fact that he couldn't have done anything to change the outcome of this date, I don't think. Like,
no
way.
he was going home, and I think that that's what she just said in the end, just to be like, what's wrong? What happened? It's just like the connection wasn't there. But I think she was trying to see the entire date if she could feel the connection. And when it also with the kiss, it didn't happen. She's just like, I'm sorry. She was probably hoping that the kiss would make her want to keep him, but it didn't.
Yeah.
So Blake is creepy, says Cassandra. Hilarious. A lot of people are saying Blake is creepy, but how much damage can he do with only one free hand? One free hand. He has he has two free hands now because it's whoa. I like her and Blake. Yeah, you know what? I don't mind her and Blake together.
They're well matched.
I like her the best with Blake, then Greg. I don't like her with Michael. I like Justin because I like Justin, but like they're not that great together. I like her with Andrew. They're it's a little bit friend-zoney in my opinion, but she seems to laugh and is a little bit of a different side of her. She seems a little bit more jokey and fun, but I don't know if that's like just friend-zone type like energy. So it's like he's my match for her.
Her and Blake are the best match for sure. I mean, in obvious ways that we see, but also like, I don't know if he's I'm not creeped out by him per se. I'm not a fan at all. I'm just like perplexed. Like I don't understand actually at all what personality he's offering. Like I'm very confused by Blake's energy. Like he's kind of aloof or like not aware of certain things. And then like that almost makes him seem kind of like dopey to me. Like I don't really know like what's going on. So I'm just like I don't like kind of like a blundering guy like that.
I just
the energy all that I'm looking for.
I got a beard.
But I get why that works for Katie. For some reason, it just like makes a lot of sense. She also doesn't seem to have like a very strong sense of humor, and neither does he. And she finds him very funny. So that to me also seems to make sense because he's not funny to me at all. At all. She's laughing it up.
Thank you very much.
What can I say?
I mean, I love laughing, and so if somebody can make me laugh, they're going to be in. And so he makes her laugh the most out of everybody in these dates. So this could be how he gets her. Like I have one of my best friends. She's only really dated comedian type guys. Like her serious relationships have been, and like she's stunning, but they're not necessarily like the most gorgeous men on the planet. But they're so funny that like they just take her up to like a level 10 in like super hotness, just because like they make her laugh so much that makes her feel good. So I think that's what Blake has, is that he's able to make Katie laugh. They found their rhythm, and they found like what they find funny as a couple, and it's working for them. And I think that's going to elevate his hotness, because I don't find him funny and I don't find him hot. So him joke make him less hot to me. But you know, there's a pot for a lid for every pot, right? And he definitely would be my lid. Not my lid. So I thought it was a cute idea to have this double date. They're playing volleyball, and Conor was terrible at volleyball, and Katie was kind of jokingly judging him for it, but seemingly being kind of serious about it, being like, he's not very good at volleyball. I was like, nobody's really good at volleyball. Speaking of volleyball, I don't know if I told you this story, but like I don't really play sports. I always had the option. I was a dance major, so I could always have my dance be considered my physical education from I was 10 years old. So I never really practiced playing all these sports in gym. And so as an actor, you would know, you have tons of commercial auditions where you have to mime activities. So one I had where I had to mime playing volleyball, and I'm like, I'm like, spike it, like high five my partner, like really playing it up. Who books that gig? This girl does.
Hey.
This girl had to go take lessons on how to play volleyball. I was living in Montreal at the time. They flew us to Morocco for a week. We had to play volleyball on a sand dune, and none of us could play volleyball. They were so mad at us.
My God.
Well, we didn't know what you were going to make us do. And it was a crane shot, and it was just like on top of a sand dune, and they had to have it be pristine all around. And so we had to get like perfect serve, perfect like whatever those called, like bumps or whatever between everybody, and like spike over. Like it was a choreographed thing, and we all sucked. There was one person that was decent at volleyball. But we got the shot, and like we figured it out, and it worked out in the end. But do you know how stressful it is to try and play volleyball for a commercial shoot on a sand dune?
How to play. Like, it's not easy to just play volleyball. Like, it's not a sport that's 6 a.m. I mean, well, and also because with shooting commercials, there's like so many other things that you have to think about. And she was like, where's the camera? Like, how's the shot supposed to look? Like, it's way more precise to play a sport that you don't know how to play. No. She's like, she played volleyball.
Yeah, she said she's good.
Yeah, so she's a volleyball player. So like, obviously it's going to be worse than her. But then I also feel like probably Kaitlyn and Jason would be like naturally better at it anyways. So it just like really sucks for Conor. Like I said, set up for failure. Set up for failure,
for sure. Blake is a more scruffy Dean. I don't know. I find Dean more attractive than Blake. I'm an outdoorsman, free range guy, LOL. See, I think that Blake is a different type. Like, I would say that Dean is a little more, if the correct category is hippie, he's more hippie in that way. I don't think of Blake as hippie and free spirit in that kind of way. I don't see Blake living in a van. I don't see Blake like not showering and like, you know, growing his hair long and a mustache only. You know what I mean? Like, he's not kind of hipster, hippie, like what's you know the look I'm talking about. I don't think of them the same. They're not the same type of guy.
No.
Aren't we required to like Blake because he's Canadian? LOL. Lols. I totally saw on Instagram that Brendon was down the street from my house.
No.
I don't know where he was, but he was like at like a Toronto patio. You know what I mean? Like,
of course he was.
I don't know where he's from. But, you know, even seen him in, like, he was in Vancouver, and then he was in Toronto. And so I'm like, maybe I should go and stalk him and be like, oh, my God, Brendon, tell me how you know Blake.
I hope to see him at some point because I have some questions about what he's doing.
Yeah, why is he on the show?
Yeah.
Blake reminds me of Alberta guys, yes, and that's not a compliment. He's more of an Alberta guy, in my opinion. He might even be an Ontario import. I think he lives in Hamilton. I don't think he actually even lives in Toronto, but like he's switched to Toronto now that he's on The Bachelor. But I think he's from East Coast or West Coast Canada. Like, I think he's from Alberta. Cassandra, are you from Canada to know what Alberta means?
I'm seeing this photo of Brendon, and he's wearing a Western University tank top. So good to know.
I know lots of people that went to Western. Should I try to stalk him? He's too young.
Guaranteed one of us knows someone that literally knows him because yes, we all know each other here, and a lot of Canadians are all trying to be firefighters. Just so you know, these are just true facts.
Absolutely. I mean, I do know a fair share of firefighters. Not gonna Tanya, are you watching Big Brother? What do you think of Frenchie's Drive Me Crazy? Natalie,
I haven't
hasn't started yet.
I have to. I'm sorry. I've been going back to work. I'm having a difficult time because there's a lot on right now. I just literally watched the first episode of Love Island US like 3 days ago. Okay. So and that's the only one I saw. So I'm really behind. I'm even behind on Housewives. Like, this is bad for me.
Are you okay?
No, I was like literally so tired, so busy. So busy. Honestly, if I wasn't recapping this show, a lot of these things would come further in the earlier in the rotation than Bachelorette based on how not exciting this is. But that Monday time slot is like locked in. So I gotta catch up, but I have some days off coming up and I'm planning on getting through some things. So I will let you know how I feel about Frenchie when I catch up for sure.
If you can though, like go into get some clips from the live feeds. Like you have to see what happened live feeds wise this week. It definitely has been the most out of control, hysterical first week I've ever seen in Big Brother. I feel as though I've been through something. I did the live feed updates today with Taryn and I was like, it feels like a month and it's been a week. Like,
interesting.
It's been a ride. All right.
The cast was really interesting to me, so I'm down. I will definitely start it, and I will let you know.
It's the cast is great. It really is great. I think you'll enjoy it a lot. I just need you to understand Frenchie.
Okay.
Tanya,
Yes, I did.
Potomac, the new season is so good. You saw the first episode?
Of course I did. That was unmissable for me because I love the Ladies of Potomac, and the premiere was just, it was so nice to have the girls back again. I love that franchise. I'm really excited for this season. We can go into detail about this like so much, so I'll pause there. But love Potomac. Happy to have them back on my screens. I stand Karen Huger. Loving how Wendy has had this glow up. She looks fantastic, and I'm excited about the new girl too, Mia. I'm really into everything, so bring it on. I cannot wait for this.
I'm behind. I think I'm on what's this, on season 6 now? What is that?
Yeah, I think this is 6.
I think I've only seen up to season 4, so I will catch up, and just so I can jump in on this. Tanya wants to keep her faculty. She will avoid learning about Frenchie. She needs to know about Frenchie. It's actually part of reality TV history in the making right now. Like, this is going to be referenced for years to come. This head of household reign. Sorry, spoiler alert, but
that's okay.
Yes, it's the reign of ages. I'll just kind of say one thing, since you haven't seen it. It's kind of hard to keep it in, but his head of household reign is worse, but comparable to Devon season 16. Okay. If you remember that mess.
I didn't even realize that Frenchie was this person that I just looked up. Okay. All right.
Unhinged. Like listening in on doors.
It's very unclear for me right now. Ay. Wow. Well, now I feel like I've got something to really
you're not that far behind. You're only 3 episodes behind and a year's worth of feeds. But just at least catch up on the episodes, so like I can catch you up on like all the other happenings. But whew. Okay, so let's just get over this. We're almost done. Okay, so they're kissing at one point, and Kaitlyn and Jason are trying to look. Ha ha ha. Night portion of the date. Katie is crying, and she's still all casual. So we know this is going to be the scene where she must be breaking up with Conor, because we kind of saw it sort of in the preview. So. She goes to his door.
The suitcase.
Right, the suitcase. Goes to his door, and he's like, oh my God, what's wrong? And he's like comforting her and taking care of her. And he sits down, and he's like, what happened? And, well, no, he's like, you did nothing wrong. And yeah, she's not that into him. What happened? Something was missing in the kiss. And he's like, it's okay. It was worth it because I met you. And I'm like, okay, cute, Conor, but like, you don't really have to say that, but thanks. Like, it's worth it.
I appreciated that he knew where the conversation was going, and then he said something like, it's okay, I know where this is going, go ahead. And I was like, oh, okay, you're a good guy. Like, really, like, you get it. It just needs to happen. We're just gonna pull the Band-Aid up. Like that, like, I feel like he immediately could tell what direction the conversation was going. So
she's crying.
Poor guy.
And then you hear him say, like, how bad of a kisser am I? Aw, poor thing. Poor thing. So Conor should become a monk because he will never kiss another woman, LOL. No, he's going to be on Bachelor in Paradise, so I'm sure that he's going to find some new ladies to go on some dates with and have some smooches with. And they're going to be like, he's the best kisser ever. Like, this is going to be his new story, that he's going to, like, have to, like, find someone that says he's a really good kisser. Probably.
Kissing compatibility is a thing too, I'm sure. And like, people can get better at kissing if they're not. Like, I feel like people learn from the person that they're kissing how to become a better kisser anyway. Yep. So he'll be fine. I'm sure it's not that bad. And honestly, based on the way the kissing is happening on this season. I'm not even sure if Katie is a good kisser.
I don't think she is. I think she's gotten better throughout the season because she's been kissing Andrew S., who seems to know how to kiss. Thomas, sorry, you hate Thomas, but he knows how to kiss. And Justin knows how to kiss. And Greg knew how to kiss. Michael A., no. Not them together. I didn't really like that. Conor, I never really liked that. I was always like, ooh. Michael P., I never really looked at it, but it just was awkward, so I never really paid attention. But
Mikey P. is still in the game somehow.
This guy with his chain, his cross.
Can't wait.
His cross on his shirt. So that's it. He comes back to the house though, which is a new thing. We thought it would be, the Grim Reaper come and grab the Undertaker, grab the bag and bring it out.
I know, it was a dark moment.
But they didn't do that. They had him come back crying to all the men, which I was like, choice.
Weird. Yeah.
Did they just want the guys to be upset for him? Is that the
These
moment
guys were absolutely devastated.
They were devastated.
Trey was done.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they thought that he was a front runner. Hunter thought he was a front runner. So the fact that, he's going home now, oh my goodness, what's happening? They're all shook. Shook. So
yeah, Hunter said, Bachelor historian Hunter thought he was top 4. What a surprise.
This is new. I wrote down that's new. He must have been like, this is new. I've never seen this before.
This doesn't happen. They usually don't come back when their suitcase should be taken away.
I mean, I usually like that moment because it's so dramatic.
I love it. It's just an unnamed person just wheels it away.
So funny. So then the really annoying moment happens next. Katie's crying, and after Blake sees, that's probably why they wanted to give a reason for Blake to have to go and see Katie. So I don't remember Say Anything, but a Bachelor recap person was like, this is the Say Anything moment. So he comes with a mini boom box out to Katie's, Katie, and is playing the stupid Memorize You song that they just danced to a couple of episodes ago. And he's like, come in. And he's like, thanks for coming to cheer me up. I get to cheer you up. And you're just like, this is so whack. But you guys deserve each other. And she comes out in the hallway. She's like, I can't believe you're here. Why can't you believe? I feel like it didn't seem like that out of the ordinary for him to show up at her. I
can't believe that you're here. You didn't see the cameras around? Nice try.
Ooh. Oh, I thought you were saying putting them together, Mike P and Maddie Pruitt together, MP and MP.
I think Katie's Maddie Pruitt is Greg.
Yes, because they're not going to get together in the end.
It wasn't, oh God, for sure.
Yes, Cassandra. I wasn't into seeing them make out. I kind of was like, one of those.
I was like, they clearly are into each other, big time. I don't think any of that is fake.
No,
they very much like each other. There's a physical chemistry that when she's around him, she's so happy, trying to hide how much she's so into him. They're making out everywhere. They're making out in the hallway. They're making out beside some random person's producer that was popped their head out of a door. They're making out in the room. You didn't see that? That was so jokes. I was just like, whoa, okay. He's the front runner. He's got to be the front runner. I don't see how anyone else can beat him. How?
And wait. Oh, because she's like, oh my God, I'm gonna look like this. And gross Blake is like, I told you I like it raw.
I hated that.
They had a lot of social media foreplay before the season started. Common to Claire and Dale, probably. And maybe him and Claire and Blake, maybe potentially as well.
Yeah.
Ew, I know. It was so, I like it raw. Get out of here. I know you're talking about raw natural makeup, but saying that just sounded gross.
Just phrase it differently, Just don't use I like it raw.
Don't say raw?
It's so weird.
Ew. And I don't know if she said this or if I wrote this down, but I think she said with Blake, this is what I'm looking for. And so I think it's like, he's a Leo son. So Leo sons are going to be a little bit more gregarious. They're going to be want the center of attention, but they're going to be really fun to be around. They're guided by the sun. So that means that they're going to have a lot of energy. But then all of his other planets are like in Virgo or like in other earth signs. Like he doesn't have any water, which is weird. And like it's
No
all
air.
earth, no air, just like his sun is fire and then the rest is earth. If I read it correctly, I could have made a mistake or not seen a couple signs, but like from what I remember seeing, it's all earth. So they do actually get along because they're probably their Venus is going to be in something earthy. And all the other compatibility elements, like their emotion, like the way they communicate emotionally is going to be compatible. So their sun signs, they don't necessarily have to match, but all their other elements is probably what's making them be so well connected. I'll maybe look at their North Node and like their Venuses and Mars and see what that looks like and see maybe why they connect so well sexually.
I mean, this was just such a power move on his part, I have to say. And by on his part, I mean the producers facilitating this happening this way. Because it's just like, he came in and he's like, I heard you had a bad night. Ooh, like he's literally just capitalizing on Conor's misfortune. He's just like, let me turn this into a moment where I can get time with her and then also take her mind off of this like sad thing that she just had to do. And it works so well.
Of course it does, especially if she wants to see that person. She wanted to see him, and so it's perfect.
She did.
Or maybe she wanted to see him or wanted to see if anybody would come. And so maybe she's like told the producers like, hey, make sure Conor goes back and sees the guys because maybe she wanted to see if anybody would take that initiative to come and comfort her. Maybe.
It's just unfair if you're the other guys because it's like at this point, the producers have made it clear that they want Blake to be this big factor in the season in terms of how they brought him on with the most complimentary introduction, edit / like presentation from Tayshia of him coming in. The fact that he's already talked to Katie before, that he got a one-on-one like immediately after he came in, that he has this moment now. Like, it's not even fair. It's not even like a fair fight. He has so many advantages.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, what are you supposed to do with that?
Especially knowing the producers already and how it works. And, like, he probably knows that he can just call them up and be like, hey, I have an idea. Can I do this? And they're like, okay. Like, I think that he's learned that he can do those types of things. So, yeah, he definitely is one up from all those other guys from his experience, for sure. So cocktail party time, and oh boy, she cancels the cocktail party. She knows what she wants. Okay, she knows what she wants, and then she needs to go and take Hunter for a little chat before the rose ceremony. Like, that's not knowing what you want. That's needing more clarity. And that's what the rose ceremony was to be for, is so that people are not standing while you go and have a conversation with Hunter. You have the rose ceremony, so at least they're sitting down with a cocktail while they're waiting for you to figure things out with Hunter. So the fact that she didn't have the cocktail party, I was like, why are you so rude?
And then she said, I'm not having the cocktail party. It's canceled because I want to focus on the relationships that I already have forming. It's like, well, you also cut the other night short. And you also have cut off a few other cocktail parties. So, like, how is anyone supposed to get to know you? Some of these people are only on group dates with you. And the rest, if they've had a one-on-one, okay, fine. But it's like, that's not really super fair. I get it from her perspective at this point. She already has, like, a few people that she's seriously considering. So no matter what time you spend, you're probably not going to change your mind on the people who are like, oh yeah, Aaron and like these folks where it's like, okay, obviously she's not going to choose them. So let's just cut to the chase. But at the same time, if you're there, it's just like, well, what was I supposed to do to do this? Like, use my time with you better, sure. But like all of my 2 minutes that I have with you weekly, like it's not cool.
It isn't cool at all. I mean, I get it. She knows what she wants, and she doesn't want to waste anybody's time now, blah, blah, blah. But, like, she then still wasted people's time by, like, Hunter, can I speak to you for a second? Like, that's probably was 3 hours. You know what I mean? Like, you know, this stuff is a lot longer than they make it look in the show.
Yeah.
And so like I never noticed so Hunter was so small until this particular episode, which is really funny. So she goes outside and they talk or whatever, and that's what I was asking, like, why'd she cut the damn cocktail party if she's so unsure about Hunter? But she starts her rose ceremony and she calls Blake, Greg, Michael A, Mike P, and Brendon. Wow, wow, wow. So that means that Hunter, Trey, James, and Aaron all do not make the cut. So can you see our little screen here? Probably, yes, you can. I haven't updated the points yet, but Tanya's probably going to win, so whatever. But we will just remove my hands. We're not so sweaty right now. Remove Aaron out of here. Oh my God, why aren't you moving? You want to be on my team? Thanks for the laughs. Good times. Oh my God, do I not even have any room for him anymore? Okay, get him down here. And then get rid of Conor. You still have a lot going on here.
I'm feeling good.
Wait, and doesn't somebody else come back?
I'm not sure.
I feel like there's a knock on the door in the rest of the season preview.
Oh, who is that? I was like, what are you doing here? Interesting. Oh God, I forgot about that.
Is it 5-2? 5-2?
No, you've got Brendon.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to have 2.
Oh, Trey. Oh, bye. Yeah.
This is where we stand. Oh, my gosh. Producers, I mean, the only person that I might have picked or it would have been Justin or Andrew. I don't think I would have. You had Blake first no matter what. I was never going to take Mike P. I'm surprised that he's this far. Greg, I probably wouldn't have ever picked, but maybe Justin or Andrew I might have picked. So
feeling great about this.
Whatever. You're doing very well.
It was a gamble to pick Blake in terms of the fact that he wasn't even in the cast, but we saw him in the preview. But I just knew he was going to do well if he got there. So I'm glad.
I was hoping that it was Blake in the box and not James. But agreed. Blake's late entrance is so different from Nick's on Kaitlyn's season. Absolutely.
People hated Nick still. Like it seems like these guys no longer have any issue with Blake. Like last week they were like Blake, and then from that it's just not an issue that he's there, and they're just laughing with him about his not masturbating. I'm like, okay.
Matt taught Katie to keep that rose in her hands and then snatch it away from Hunter.
Oh, Matt. Oh, Matt.
Oh, yes.
Matt is making TikToks. Matt is making TikToks explaining Bitcoin now. So if anybody feels so compelled to see what Matt James is doing these days, check those out because I definitely had a laugh.
Bitcoin right now, the time is to buy Bitcoin and all other cryptocurrency because it's so low right now. It is really
low. Lol at videos from Matt? No.
Like with that look? Oh my God. Him at whatever that award show was. You're just like, who is letting you leave? Rachel, what are you doing? Why are you letting him leave the ESPYs?
Apparently also, I didn't see this yet because I just heard about it today, but Rachel Lindsay actually interviews Matt and Rachel at the ESPYs, and I was like, I gotta watch that.
I saw the
she
clip,
kept it super professional, obviously, it was fine, but I'm intrigued.
I didn't watch the whole thing, but I saw a little snippet of it, so I know that it happened. But I just don't like him. I'm sorry, people. He just I don't vibe with him, and I don't find him funny. I don't want to hear what he has to say. So I'm just kind of like, I don't want to support him right now. I don't like his look. I can't stand that beard. He needs a personality makeover for me to want to engage in his content, for me. He's right for Rachel. That's great. And a lot of people think he's super hot and really love him and think he's great. That's great. That's why everybody has their own taste, so we all can have our own partners. But he's not my cup of tea. So does the loser have to buy the winner a new car? I wish. I would have tried a lot harder. I wouldn't have let her go first. This was a friendly one because it was the first time Tanya and I have done a draft together. If we do something for Paradise, we can maybe figure out something. I don't know how we would do it there. Like who would be couples at the end or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's hard. I also feel like that one's hard because like it's constantly on my Instagram, like seeing images and like people, like I feel like I knew who the cast was before it even got revealed. So it's just like, I guess it's harder from a spoiler perspective for that. Instagram has really made it hard for some of those things to avoid spoilers, I have to say. Because now it's do you get this for the challenge too, where there's just like so many tea pages that end up in like my explore page or whatever, where I have to like be super, super careful to not read spoilers. I'm just like, please, this is it's not what I'm following.
No, I know, me too. I definitely try to avoid it. I've had like a mini one about the challenge, but it's not that big of a deal. It will affect our draft, but it's not the worst. But I'm sure there's many surprises, to completely avoid them. Like I'm like, thank you for the spoiler alert. Okay, thanks. And like even so, sometimes you're just like, and you're like, oh my god, no, I don't want to see that. So I have been very cautious because it's starting in a month, and I just want to get into the season. I mean, I can't believe that the off season is done, and we're almost onto the challenge again. Wild. Like what? Wild as
Paradise is also interesting from a draft perspective because we know the players. So kind of like you do for the challenge, other than like the rookies, you at least know the people. Whereas we were doing this one, like having no clue about any of these guys other than Blake. So
we could maybe do one.
That was really like, it could have gone either way. Like we didn't know anything about these guys.
With the Bachelor in Paradise, what if we did like, we go through the full cast? So whatever, we're just going to spoil ourselves or who's going to be, we don't know who's starting cast and who comes on later. And so maybe we can do like a point system. So if they're starting cast, like, you know, they get 5 points. And if they come on later, they get 2 points or something like to that effect. And like just use like dates. If they make it past the rose ceremony, they get a point, and we just do like some system like that. So we can just go through the whole cast. And it'll also be kind of a cast assessment, and then we'll see how our full draft does for the entirety of the season. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Katie kisses like a man. I just cringed watching her kiss anyone, really. Oh, Louis.
She goes right in. That's the thing. It's just like it goes from 0 to 100 like right away. And I feel like that's just, I don't know. Maybe it's a personal preference. I just feel like there's a build. There's like there's a rhythm to it. Like you don't just like immediately like just make out with someone so intense.
Hardly. Like when you see like those sex scenes where people are just like propping people up on counters and ripping clothes off and like kissing, that actually doesn't really feel that great. Like it's not. It looks really cool on like this lust and desire on camera, but like it doesn't really. It's a camera trick. Like it's just like you think that that's what it looks like and feels like, and it doesn't actually. So that's what I think about those kisses. It's just kind of like porn kisses. Like they don't actually feel good, but you think they do because they're so passionate. But I don't think so. I don't think that Katie is a good kisser, to be fair. We talked about it already. Keep your chimneys open on December 25th or Matt James and his beer. Oh, Matt James. He needs a stylist. He needs a stylist. Matt is Candace Owens type. Him and Rachel are a perfect pair. Yeah, I can see that. He's a little right-winged. Paradise would be fun. Yeah, we're definitely going to cover something. Matt is blah, basically met all the expectations people had of him. Hard to be mad about that, LOL. He didn't meet, well,
the people's expectations were low, so.
Yes. The kisses felt like bad porn kisses. Exactly. It's like, ugh, it's not really, it doesn't feel good. It's fake. So with Matt though, I guess, yeah, I had, the bar was really low, but he still didn't even meet my bar because I was hoping a lot more from him. I was hoping that he would have a little bit more understanding about like the position that he was in. And granted, I do feel for him that he was in over his head, but I just don't think that he really handled any of it in a way that I thought was with grace and with consideration. Like, I think that he kind of dropped the ball there. So that's where I'm looking at Matt in the terms of meeting expectations. He didn't meet mine, and I had them quite low. So, but we're getting off pretty early because I know you got to go to work tomorrow. I don't want to keep you up too late. Another day. But this was super fun. Thanks, everybody in the chat. Cassandra, you're going to watch next episode to hang out with us. We'll be on an irregular time next week as well because I'm going to be doing Rob as a podcast on Tuesday night. So we might do a Monday after the episode if that works for Tanya. That's what I'm thinking right now. Might be the best option.
That's cool.
Yeah, so if that's the case, then so next Monday after the episode, so probably about 10:15 Eastern time, we will go live. I will have proper internet because I am home right now. It won't be that there's construction going on like, or like they're pulling up the Rogers cable on the street. Like, it was so ridiculous. It was so ridiculous. The one weekend that I'm at my mom's house, like, her internet's down and I'm doing all these podcasts. It was a nightmare. So everything should be fine. Good night, Tamika. I will see you tomorrow. Thank you for joining in on the party. Cassandra, Tamika, B-Bean, Natalie, and if I've missed anybody else that was hanging out with us here in the chat, thank you for being here. We love you. Hanging. Thanks for hanging and helping us get through this season. You guys do make it fun. You and Tanya make it fun for me to talk about this season because it's such a mess. And like you said, Tanya, you wouldn't be watching it really. It would be pushed to the back burners if we weren't doing this podcast together. So thank you for, keeping us in your rotation.
Oh no, for sure. I mean, it's worth it. I'm always intrigued, and I would always watch it at some point. I was just saying it might not be the number one thing that I watch.
I hear that. I hear that for sure. I would definitely watch things in a different order if I wasn't covering them, especially when the season gets a little bit boring. But anyways, that's all she wrote. We'll see you guys later. Thank you.
Bye.